I'm just trying to decide if I'm comfortable even talking about that.
This one's wife. When the divorce comes. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The dynamic between a narcissist and their victim, the intimate partner primary source, which is a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, cohab partner, which in this instance we have the narcissist, this one's wife, and her intimate partner primary source, Harry. The dynamic between two such individuals has three potential outcomes. The first, Harry escapes. He throws off the shackles of his ensnarement and makes a bid for freedom. Of the three, that is the least likely option. Alternatively, there's disengagement. This is where the narcissist gets rid of the victim. There are 5 reasons why narcissists do this. Not the reasons they tell you, but the actual 5 reasons behind why the narcissist behaves in that way. You can understand that more by watching my video, 5 Reasons the Narcissist Leaves You, or the 5 Disengagement Triggers. That is the most likely option between this one's wife and Harry. The third option is there is neither escape nor disengagement, resulting in the relationship continuing until one of the parties passes away. Thus, it's the roller coaster of continued sustained devaluation, respite period, sustained devaluation, respite period, and on it goes. I have explained to you previously that the most likely outcome of this relationship is that this one's wife disengages from Harry. When that happens, and it's a when rather than an if, divorce will follow. At that point, there will be a feeding frenzy with regard to information about what's going on and also the PR that flows from it. Naturally, this one's wife will portray herself as the victim. After all, that is her prevailing mentality spurred by her narcissism. She will paint Harry black, undoubtedly allege that he was abusive towards her, use his drug use against him, use his behaviour with regard to the children, to the extent that they exist, against him, and will engage in a PR battle to suggest that she is escaping an awful marriage. Harry undoubtedly will look to try and keep all matters quiet, not because he's necessarily done anything wrong, but he will be advised not to wash that dirty linen in public any longer. This one's wife will want to, because it will enable her to play the victim, enable her to receive fuel, enable her to seek control over the public as a whole, and is being done because she will not be able to assert control directly over Harry, so she'll seek to do it directly by smearing him and doling out pity play after pity play after pity play. I would not be surprised to find her going on chat shows talking about her marriage hell, that she will perhaps write a book about it, and there will be the feeding frenzy that surrounds it all as everything in relation to the divorce is poured over, dissected, discussed, and analysed. Eventually, though, the divorce will be finalised. And it may well be the case that this one's wife has found some other sucker, and Harry returns to the United Kingdom, his pink pods finally handed back to him as part of the divorce settlement. It is at this juncture that this one's wife will no longer enjoy the level of publicity she currently has. The only reason why people are interested in her is because of the man that she married. Take away Harry, and what have you got? A mediocre actress with no charisma, no talent. That's it. There are plenty of individuals like this one's wife. Strip away the narcissism and there's plenty of mediocre actresses who aren't particularly interesting individuals, who aren't particularly talented, and therefore she simply is not going to stand out. The only reason that she has stood out is because of who she married, and her narcissism was then given a world stage. Now, people continue to watch primarily because they want to see where the train wreck ends up. Much of the interest in this one's wife isn't related to liking her, but rather disliking her, scrutinizing her mishaps, poring over her faux pas, laughing and ridiculing her activity. To make her disappear quickly, the simple thing would be for everybody to stop taking an interest in her, even where it's grudge viewing her. But people won't. They would expect other people to do it, but not themselves. They couldn't help but want to see what she's up to. They want to know what she's up to because they enjoy laughing at her, enjoy scrutinizing her activity, and want to see where it all ends up. Thus, because that is the case and the media knows it, she has continued to be afforded scrutiny and publicity now. Thus, whilst she embarks on another failure with American Riviera Orchard retirement homes, whilst she reverts to being a faux royal, as she tries to set up another tour somewhere in Africa, all of these things continue to gain attention from the media because they know that there are plenty of people out there who want to know about what she is doing. Thus, she will continue to get the attention, and then when it rumbles into divorce, there'll be increased attention, which she will play into. But then comes the problem for this one's wife. Who will she be at that point with regard to divorce? The ex-wife of a prince. That's it. She will have reached that point of failure. She would undoubtedly receive money, and therefore will have quite a satisfactory lifestyle compared to many. She may well have involvement with the children to the extent that they exist. She will tell her stories, etc. But the point is, people have then seen where she has ended up, and she has ended up where many believe that she will. Divorced. They won't be interested in whatever she's trying to do by way of lifestyle brand, because that will have been around for a while and probably hasn't achieved anything. The press know that there will be decreased interest in her because she's no longer with Harry and the divorce is all over and their dust has settled in that respect. This one's wife, of course, will still be craving that attention, that fuel. She will still want the world to talk about her as it once did when she rose to prominence. But the world won't. There will still be some of her fans knocking around, but they'll be diminished in number. The vast majority of people that pay her attention do so because they want to see her fail. And once the divorce has been finalised, they will have seen that failure come to pass, and thus they'll have no longer any interest in what she's doing. There won't be any faux royal tours to laugh at. There won't be any ridiculous political career to pour scorn on. She'll fade away. It may well be the case that she has found some other sucker, possibly wealthy. But the fact is that that person is unlikely to be famous, and therefore it's unlikely that the press and the media will have much interest in that person, and therefore it follows that they won't have any interest in her any longer. The only reason that she is of interest is who she married, and then because of her behaviour thereafter in relation to the person that she has married. Take away the person that she married, Harry, arrive at the final destination of failure, which she will, and thereafter the media will no longer be interested in her because the interest from the public will have gone away. They'll have been satisfied as a consequence of the end of the marriage. They'll be satisfied because they have seen the conclusion of the train wreck. It arrived at destination Fouquet. And thus, people will have less of an interest. You might get the occasional article, here's what the ex-Duchess is doing now, and people will go, ah yes, there we are. And she may attempt to once again reinvent herself, but there'll be much less interest, because she'll no longer have that royal connection, having been divorced from Harry. She'll just revert to being the actress. Thus, for this one's wife, whilst her narcissism is likely to take her to the point of disengaging from Harry, for one of the 5 reasons, and I've set that out previously, which one it's most likely to be, the collateral consequence of it is that she will in effect sign her own death warrant with regard to publicity. She'll reach the conclusion that so many people have been waiting to see, and with that, interest will wane. Furthermore, she's no longer with Harry, therefore interest will wane in relation to that. And irrespective of who she might ensnare, the fact is that the draw that she enjoys now, 1, being married to Harry, 2, the fact that people are waiting and wanting to watch her fail, those matters will have concluded, leaving her with nothing. And thus the very act of getting rid of Harry, and the frenzy that will surround the divorce, will actually result in her fading into obscurity, which is something which will have her kicking and screaming. She loves being famous or infamous because of the fuel that comes with it and the other aspects of the prime aims. Thus her narcissism wants to keep it going. Its arrogance will mean she believes that she will always be famous, but she doesn't realise that she's famous for 2 main reasons, neither of which are acceptable to her. The first, she's only famous because she married a prince, and then 2, her fame is only maintained as a consequence of so many people waiting and watching to see her fuck up. The majority of her fame is not based upon being liked or being talented or being charismatic. It's based upon those 2 factors. And once those have been removed, she's divorced from Harry, and there's nothing more to see with regard to the train wreck, she'll be plunged into obscurity, and that will cause her a huge problem, because she will no longer be receiving the fuel that she once did. She believes that she will remain famous forever. She'll be infamous, but the lens of the media will go elsewhere, the interests of the public will fade away, and thus she will too, into obscurity. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.